Good morning YouTube, Adam here for the part 3 of the solar off-grid project. Sorry I haven't posted a video in a couple of weeks, been pretty busy. As I explained in my general chat in April, we made a decision to sell our apartment and buy into a bigger house, and that's all come about, and it's all happened in the last 2 weeks. So been a bit of painting and moving and that sort of thing, so it's had to sort of push videos on the back burner, but we're here today and got some good things to install today, so it should get us a long way to where we want to be. So let's have a look at what I've got installed today. So as you can see here, we've got some things to install. Just over here we have our 70mm square battery cable. That's the main cable going from the battery bank to the fuse block, which is this here. It's a big 250 amp 3-pole fuse. Uses some big knife fuses, which are just over here. Use some big knife fuses, just over here, as you can see, quite big and heavy. Should go well. We also have our new Victron battery monitor shunt. That's going to be a pivotal part of our setup. It's going to allow us to monitor power going in and out of the batteries, as well as able to do some other functions like potentially start a generator down the track, or you can hook up to it remotely. So this is the BMW 700, not the 702, as I don't need to do mid-level monitoring at this point. I also have some 32mm conduit fittings here, and that's to run the cabling from the battery box through the switchboard into the top half of the switchboard where all the nuts and bolts are. So without any further ado, let's get into it. I'll show you the progress when I'm done and talk a bit about what I've done, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so I've finished installing the products I showed you this morning, so let's go ahead and take a look. Okay guys, here's the battery box, and you see there's a series of new cables. So this cable going down here and out through the box, as well as, I'll just adjust this camera a bit, as well as this cable right here goes to the shunt, and the shunt cable then goes out of the battery box as well. This white cable here is like a Cat5e Ethernet sort of style cable, and there's a little fused positive cable that goes to the shunt just over here. I'll take you down and show you a bit of a close-up of the shunt now, and you have a look at that. Okay guys, here's the shunt. It's a 500 amp shunt. It's the BMW 700 from Victron, so it matches my charge controller. It's a big 70mm square cable, and as I showed in the previous video with regards to these spanners here, this spanner here fits the shunt, also fits the battery isolator, and also fits the fuse, the big 3-pole fuse, which I'll show you in a minute. As you can see here, we have the DC Solutions DC 250 amp rated fuse block here. There's a knife fuse, and it's a quick disconnect, so just by grabbing this and pulling it down, throws the fuses out of the knife blocks, cutting the power past it. The 70mm square cable connects onto the terminals here. I've also brought the charge cables to the same terminals, so there's no separate charge cables going all the way to the battery box. And this is preferable for the shunt anyway, as the shunt can then read what voltage and charge is going into the battery as well as what's coming out. So the monitor is reading 26.11 volts, and as I'll show you in a minute, the charge controller is on float, so it is only creeping up some extra voltage now. There's a setup menu. You can set the battery capacity so it knows how much is fully charged. The charge voltage. The tail current. And the charge deflection time. And back to the main menu. So here's the main display. It's how many amps being used, which is none at the moment because there's no power draw. How many watts being used? There's none. There's no watts draw. How many amp hours have been depleted out of the battery? The battery percentage status, its charge status. How many amp hours left before the battery reaches its set state of charge limit, which is infinity at the moment because there is no draw. And then back to the main battery's voltage. As you can see there, charge control is up on float with just the one panel, but then again there's no load on it, so that's to be expected. So what's next? Well, the next thing that needs to be installed is the inverter, which I haven't purchased yet, but I'm going to purchase in the next week or so. Once that comes in, that can then go on, and then we're able to start using the power of the batteries, which will be exciting. By no means is that at the end of the process. I have circuit breakers put in for controlling lighting and power, not only for the batteries but also for the generator. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I like making them. If this is the first of the series that you've seen, I invite you to go back and look at the other two. That'll give you some context about what's going on here. Also, there'll be many more videos to come. As I said at the start of the video, now that I have the new house, there'll be some work going on there with other homesteading type projects, veggie patch, shed building and that sort of stuff. So I've got a good metal workbench that I'm planning to build, so I'll bring you along with that one. If you enjoyed the video, please like. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so as well. And I really look forward to seeing some comments. So if there is something I didn't explain well enough, or something you want a bit more information on, please drop me a line. I'm only too happy to provide any information I can. Right, see you on the next one.